Hey YouTube, it's your beekeeper here. It's another glorious day. So what are we doing today? We're going to take this machine known as a 1988 TerraPro. Actually, let me get it uncovered first so I'm not talking over the crinkles. So there's the Pro in all her glory. I'm not even mad about this. I don't even know that I'm going to fix that. Now that I'm messing with it. Hold on a second. Okay. I may glue those together just so they don't. I spilled a little oil on there. So they don't spread. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with how this has come together. I rode it around quite a bit last night off camera just to see, work any bugs out of it, because if it's going to mess up, I'd rather have it mess up here in town. A lot of meat on these tires, but they don't hold air very well, but I can work with them. Let's see, that one's pretty soft. I mounted this here. I'm not 100% that I like it here. Really don't have many other places to do it. It's up out of the way of the mud, which was important to me. I wanted it not to be in the mud. Comes my neighbor riding his racing lawn tractor down the street. How's it going? Every Sunday morning he goes for a rip up and down the street. I think it's hilarious. I love it. He's got his little helmet on and everything. Yeah. You know, that's the wet side. Remember, that's the side that had oil on there. So I'm gonna pull this diff plug eventually. I'm gonna mess with the differential lock. Last night it definitely didn't have a differential lock, which isn't a bad thing, but I'd like to be able to lock it in when really necessary. But that's not what this video is about. Come on, dude, focus, focus, focus. This video is going to be about snow plows. We're going to fit the snow plow on this thing. Focus, 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 focus. Okay, what are we doing today? We are going to do snow plows. Let's stay focused, and let's push this thing back to give me a little room, and then I'll be right back. So if you guys remember, this is the plow that I built out of an old water heater and some scrap metal I had laying around. I just dug it out of the dirt because it kind of got buried by grass and things. And I got to figure out a way to make it talk to this. Still be able to pivot. Now that I didn't mount the winch on the front because I simply didn't have any room and I didn't want to lose my front rack, I'm going to have to figure out a manual leverage, which is not a big deal. I'm not even worried about that at all. But I think I need to do some cutting and some bending. I think I got to cut this whole assembly off the top, maybe flip it around the other way. This thing got the life beat out of it. Not even exaggerating. I lost one of the skids. I'm gonna have to make some new ones. I don't know where that ended up. Probably in the road somewhere. Super sturdy, extremely sturdy. So I'm gonna get some cutting. I think I gotta cut that off. I think I'm gonna build this out of some super strut, unistrut type metal, and gotta remake some feet for this thing so I don't gouge. Yeah, good times. I'm gonna do a little more beating on this metal, a little bit of cutting. I'll bring you back in just a few. So I beat this backing plate straight, flat, I guess. Flat. This is about how far forward I want it to sit, because I still want to have some maneuverability. I think I want it to pivot here. I cut the old pivoting system off. I think if I actually just flip it completely upside down, that should allow, this is about how high this thing needs to sit. More to follow. We're making progress, but we're also running out of daylight. Everything is tacked together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this thing and do the finish welding, but I figure by the time that happens it's going to be dark and y'all aren't going to see nothing. But this is where we are for right now. I know a lot of the ones that you can buy, I use some super strut 1.5" or 1 5/8", whatever it is. They come off this plate here, but I actually took this off and I considered it, but the problem then became this side where I have all the brake arm assembly. Remember, this thing only is going to get used a few times a year, right? I don't live up on that property full time, so there'll probably be half a dozen times. You know, it snows pretty much December, January, February, March, like 4 months out of the year. We've got the possibility of good snow. So I don't want to over-engineer this like I always do. So trying not to modify. This is much more useful to me as a ranch quad than it is a snowplow, but it's going to be very useful as a snowplow, if that makes sense. I boxed this end in here with some 1/4" steel. Pushes back against this rear swing arm mount. As the same on this side. This is boxed in. I've got to modify this engine plate. There's a skid plate underneath. Make it easier to get the pin in and out. This is going to be pinned. It's not going to be bolted. And then let me come around this side. I think it's easier from this side. Oh, let me take my helmet off. Hold on. Stay. Yeah. Of course, no friggin' room. So the pushback here will be against this swing arm, right? The bar that, it's not the actual bar that supports the swing arm, that's this one, but it comes in front of it, which I think is okay. And then you get into the middle of the deal, and I've tacked in place a cross piece with some 3/16 steel, and then that's boxed in. It'll be easier when I drop it, but I just want to get some footage before it gets dark. So that will account for some pushback force. So we've got 3 points of contact on the frame that will take the brunt of this snowplow load. I hope. I could be wrong. Hell, I don't know. I am going to do some cross bracing once I drop this out of the way to keep this thing from torquing. I don't know why I put, well, I know why I put this here. I'm not sure that I'm going to keep this here. Originally, I hadn't figured out that point of contact, and then I thought I would have the front point of contact come off the front here somewhere. So I tacked this in place thinking I would do some sort of thing that somehow bolted or clipped to here that would take it, but it just didn't seem like that was strong enough. This is already tacked in place. It is what it is. I may actually leave that there. And then I looked at this spot here, and I think this is a better spot. I think. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is the old assembly. I chopped about 6 inches out of this to bring this back farther. This actually flips upside down. I don't know if you guys care about this, but on the tractor, this was the lift and lowering point. I thought I might need that, so I left it on there. As it turns out, I'm going to cut it off because I don't need it. I had a piece of thick-walled scaffolding pipe in my hoard. I turned it on the lathe to fit to the inside diameter of the existing pipe. I drilled 3 oiling holes in the top because this thing's locked in place right now because it's all welded in. And I can put drops of oil in there. I may actually put Zerk fittings. Actually, I can't. Now that I welded this in, I gone done screwed myself on putting Zerk fittings. So we're just going to drip a lot of oil in there, and then I'm going to put a blurb of grease over each one of these holes to keep water out of it, and we'll just go from there. It is what it is. I had to beat the hell out of this thing to get it square again. I eliminated, I think I mentioned this earlier in this video, I eliminated the tip. Before I used to have springs, and this thing could do a tip forward thing, and that didn't work out well. It wasn't engineered right. So I left the hinge in here because I can't pull this pin out now that I got this fully assembled. So I just welded it here across the top. And then, so that gives me, I'm not on my welding good. So unfortunately it blocks all my headlights. But that is what it is. I can always make a light bar that clips to the rack. it'll be a mechanical raise and lower. Skippy made a good point. He says get an arm that comes off of here that has like a C cut out of it that'll clip onto here. So, and it'll go here. So manually, I'll just reach over the handlebars, I'll pull it up. However I'm going to fashion that, I'm not really sure. It'll clip on here, and it'll hold this thing up so I can drive, and then I can lift it, and it'll come down. So clip, choop, and it'll clip. I don't care about that today. Today I'm just going to continue to weld this. Oh, and I got a new battery, a new used battery for this thing. Oh lordy, it's a amalgamated glass mat, AGM battery. I couldn't think of what. This came out of, it's a 12 volt, 75 amp hour battery. It was cycled out of a commercial building. It's for a backup for a fire alarm system. They get pulled because of age. This one just got, I don't think it was just, but this one was pulled. It's still, I think it's still load tested out at, this is 70, yeah, I think it load tested out at 68 or 70 amps, so it's pretty close to being good. But the rules state that this one, I think 5 years, I believe they pulled this a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think every 5 years. I don't know, I'm not an engine nerd. He's an engine nerd, not me, but he dropped it off and he's like, hey, look for your eye loops. So I could bolt that thing on there. So I've got a good battery, so that's pretty exciting. So there it is, yeah. All right, I'm gonna weld, and well, maybe I'll conclude this video here. I probably will make this into 2 videos, so it's not one giant long video, but that's where we are. A little more gusseting on the framework itself. I cut the gussets off. We did find out that this thing likes to bend, and before we had welded some angular iron from there to there, some steel. So when this thing's pulled from the rig, I'm going to do that as well, because this plate here bends. It takes a lot of abuse. I thought it was stronger than it was, but it is what it is because it's what I had. So I can do a little triangulation and we'll be good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm excited. Probably I'm going to do the welding up on this tonight, and probably one more day just to button things up. Maybe not even a full day. Today I got pulled in every direction. I wish I had a full day on this today, but it just didn't work out that way. And that's okay. I got 2 or 3 other things done, trying to multitask. It is what it is. All right. So that's where we sit. It dropped straight down, which is awesome. I pulled the nails, and then I realized that I didn't tack the front here, so this kind of pulled back a little bit, but it's fine. It's lined up. And this is the back part. This thing's pretty stout. So I'm going to finish welding this tonight, and then this to this. And I think that'll be it for tonight. Alright, now we're going for real. I think that's alright. These optical illusions are messing with me. I know this is bent. I know it is, and it's messing with my head. I know this is square because it sits square on the frame, so I just need to stop eyeballing it. You eyeballing me? Alright. That's enough of that. Maybe it'll work or it won't. Maybe it'll tear off this year. Either way, I'll have the camera rolling. Oh, I need to make new shoes for that too, new skids. I lost one. So I'll fashion something nice. Alright, I'm going to get welding before I lose my light. Gotta go, gotta run. See! Okay, now I'm calling it a night for real. For real. I got everything finished welded, but that cross brace, because I'm just out of light and I don't feel like fighting it. I still got to sweep this area down, put things away. But I ran a brace that way. I was going to crisscross it, but I just think that's overkill, surprisingly enough. This cross brace also captures this piece here, this horizontal cross piece, or perpendicular I should say. So that should keep that from flexing if there were to be any of that noise. So I can do this without pinching my fingers or burning something, because I don't quite know what's hot on this thing anymore. That's what she said. think. Yeah, so I'm gonna come back in and top weld this here, top weld that angle there, weld it here. But we should be in pretty good shape. Finish weld that and then build the lift mechanism. Lift mechanism. Then I've got to get 3 pins. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use for that yet. I might just go buy those. But we're running out of light quickly. Okay, third addendum. Sorry guys, didn't mean to bring you back for more. Gotta go, gotta run. See you.